guys, I'm Tiffany. Welcome back to the Cinematic Reviewer. Today I'm reviewing a couple things actually. So I'm going to talk about a couple movie releases that happened in the last few months, and then I'm also going to share a couple reviews on some new to me TV shows and things like that. So the first thing I'm going to review is It Ends With Us. Now this is a movie that I wasn't going to see on my other channel. I have a book channel and I hate Colleen Hoover. She's the one who wrote that book. And like after that I'm like not going to support her, not going to give her any span of time, whatever. And I heard some pretty weird things about this book, so I'm like, you know what, I'm not going to read it, not going to watch the movie. And I was like, well, maybe. So I just decided to see it. I saw it with my mom and it was actually pretty decent. I thought the young actors were great. There was some solid chemistry between them. I definitely would have liked to see more scenes from them. And I thought Justin did a great job. And I did feel that Blake Lively was lacking. So I thought it was a solid movie overall. It took a while to get going, but otherwise I was quite pleased. It was weird though, the fact that it's like the beginning, it's just taking forever for anything to happen. But then with Ryle and Lily being together, it's just like a montage. It's like we just skip over the whole thing. So as you can see, I just did not have that much to say, but you know, that's why it's kind of like nice to do just a full video of like multiple things, because to have a review where it's like that small, it's like, what's the point? So all in all, it was a pretty decent movie. I definitely thought it was nice to watch. Obviously, if you have stayed up to date with any social media, you know there's been a lot of talk and controversy about the fact of how Blake Lively has treated the subject matter of this movie. But all in all, the movie itself, so like let's take away the drama, the movie itself I thought was pretty good. The next show I'm going to talk about is Jujutsu Kaisen. Now this is an anime, and I have heard people talk about it, hype it up, whatever, but for a time it was just hard for me to get into. Like the very beginning, like it has where it's like centered on the kids being in school, and it's like I've seen enough school related anime, I don't want to see anymore. And then the opening theme, at first I was a little like, these visuals are weird, I don't like it. So it took a while for me to get going with it. But then the second I really started watching the show, yeah, I finished it in 2 days. So it's definitely pretty good. So I'm only going to be reviewing season 1 and I'll explain why later. So yeah, once I finally gave it the proper time, you know, I really got into the start of the show. And I'll be real, I really thought this anime could be my number 1. Like, I was really getting into it. I was very excited about it. There was just a lot of really great elements to it. And there will be spoilers, so just an FYI about that. So after Itadori dies, the show slowed down for me. And I just didn't like the change up in character interactions. I'm glad we didn't get that kid. I'll go ahead and put the picture here since I can't remember his name. I'm glad we didn't get that kid being part of the group. Him dying instead, unlike how it was in the opening sequence. It's like one of those where it's like it kind of tricks you to be like, oh yeah, he's gonna be important. Just kidding. I wanted a sweet, or at least genuine, reunion with Itadori being alive, but it was strictly set up to be a joke. And just, it's like, why? Come on. I'm fine with Toto helping Itadori get stronger and bonding, but I did not like how they became buddies. The opening themes were great. I'll admit though, they were a bit of an acquired taste. The rival school competition plot was so boring. And it took forever. So many episodes, it's just focused on that. It's like, I don't care. Especially the episodes solely focused on Panda and the robot. Like, dude, I do not care. I already felt this way, but there are just way too many characters in this show. And this episode perfectly encapsulates that. I love Sakuna, and I'm really bummed he seemed to be more sidelined later in the season. Sorry not sorry, but a lot of these characters could cease to exist, and I would not care at all. Give me more screen time with Sakuna. Also, his character design is fantastic, super great. The episode after the panda and the robot with the women was great. It gave me a little bit more faith in the show, because it really started getting boring. I'll be real. The lore and the world building sometimes gets a bit too confusing, and I can't follow it. The trio friendship felt a little too fast after Itadori came back. Nobara Sakura said point blank after Itadori died that she didn't know him that well. So how are they all buddy-buddy 2 seconds after Itadori comes back? I feel like some aspects of this show are great, but a fair amount of it doesn't quite satisfy or work for me. Now, the only reason I'm talking about season 1 is season 2, I did start it, and 1 episode and I was done. Why are we going back in time right away? Why am I supposed to care? And yeah, that's about it. I just could not continue with the show. Maybe it does get better after this, selection of more prequel moments and these flashbacks. I'm just like, I'm sorry, but who cares? I don't. I'm done. So maybe I'll continue with the show, but I watched this show last month and I haven't cared to come back to it. So it might just be I liked the first season and that's about it. Now, the other movie I watched was The Forge. Now, this is a Christian movie. The Kendrick brothers, they've done a couple movies, Courageous, War Room, and then The Forge. And this one in particular, in some aspects, it was a pretty decent movie. It definitely had me like, I prefer these other movies more. So, and I do feel like sometimes it really felt like, okay, we completed the arc. The character arc is done, the movie is over, let's go. Multiple times, it's like, it's over now. It's over now? Now? When is it gonna end? And it's not that long of a movie. I just think their pacing was totally off. Some aspects of the movie were good, but it definitely had me like, yeah, I prefer War Room. And the one that's top tier is Courageous. I feel like, because it is a Sony Pictures part, but it's still, under this subsect of religious production companies. I just feel that War Room and The Forge, they just feel cheaper, and they have a certain level of someone less than your typical film production company made the movie. And again, Sony is a part of it, but this more religious one that did it, it just feels cheaper. And some things, even if they're trying to be genuine, it just feels way cheaper. At least with Courageous, I almost don't even think about the fact that this is actually something a little bit less expensive. So I just think in general, Courageous is so well done, and War Room itself is very good, but The Forge I just felt was lacking. Some aspects of it are good, and I will say, War Room, that original lady, and she ends up being the mom in this one in The Forge, just that actress doesn't work for me. There's something about her that's just a little, not gonna work for me. And then also, the older lady, she's definitely the best. War Room was really good with her, and then we barely get to have any screen time with her in The Forge. It's just, alright, I watched this movie, it's decent, but I would have been fine having never watched it. It wasn't some, oh my gosh, I have to watch this, So one movie that I did watch last month that I said I actually told you guys I was going to watch was Blade. So I did end up watching that movie, and oh my gosh, it was so laughable. It is not a good movie. Some aspects were good. The music definitely good. That Blade soundtrack for, when they're at the club and everything. Oof, so good, so good. That definitely was a good aspect, but that CGI was like, dude, what are we doing here? It just was not very good. It definitely helped me see that it's like, yes, maybe it was good for Marvel that, that was one of their first opportunities, but it's like, ooh, this is not very good at all. It was very weird. It definitely had my dad and I laughing out loud. It just was not very good at all. Now, one show that is very new to me, I've never watched it before, that I've been watching this month is Young Sheldon. I watched Big Bang for many years. I definitely enjoyed that show at the time. I don't think I would like it the same now, but either way, watching this Young Sheldon, this prequel show, it's pretty good. It's definitely nice to watch like a comfort show sometimes, and I will say this year, I haven't been finding that many good stuff, good movies and shows to watch. So it's been nice to kind of watch something kind of light, kind of breezy, and just all in all, it's a pretty decent show, which I appreciate. So that's just a couple things I've watched recently, movies and shows that I've watched recently. And I am, looking forward to my next movie review is going to be for The Wild Robot. That looks like a pretty decent movie, so I'm very much looking forward to that. So that is the next movie review you guys can look forward to. You guys let me know what you've been recently watching, or if you've watched any of what I shared today. And if you'd like to share your own opinions, go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. And if you liked this video and would like to see more movie content, be sure to hit that subscribe button. See you guys next time. Bye!